One.
Welcome to Sports Ramble on this very special edition Monday night episode. We're diving into what the heck happened this past weekend. My name is Joe Silik, joined by Big D Dennis Pond, also wearing a cowboy hat, and Corbin Rush, who's also in a cowboy hat.
I don't know what's going on with my camera, but first thing I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? If there's one thing I love seeing more than Tom Brady lose, it's watching the Cowboys get beat. Man, I love it in the playoffs. Woo, there's nothing better. But I guess we're going to come back to that game later. We're just going to kind of go down the line in the order the games were played. So we're going to start with the Jacksonville-Kansas City game. We almost had the Big Cat AFC Championship game, man. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but we didn't,
okay? Okay, we didn't.
Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Joseph.
Hey, I lost some money this weekend. It is what it is, okay? No big deal. Trevor Lawrence, it's his first playoff run. I think the Jags are here to stay. I think they're going to be back next year. He didn't play great. I mean, going to Arrowhead, playing in that environment, it's never easy, especially in a playoff game. He was 24 of 39, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes did get hurt. He was able to come back. He does have a high ankle sprain going into next week's game, but he was 22 of 30, 195, 2 touchdowns. Also took the over on him for 275 yards. Neither one of them hit. So that's all right, though.
How about Lawrence saying it? Oh, it can't be that much louder than Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Arrowhead.
You know, I think T-Law, like, am I freezing on for y'all too? Or is it okay?
For me, you are. Yeah.
For T-Law, I don't know. I think he tries to be too mature sometimes, and I think it bites him because I think he tries to be like, oh, like I'm not going to worry about this, like we're not going to worry about that, like we're here to play, blah blah blah. It's like I think sometimes you have to have a little bit more respect for your opponent, unless your name's Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Unless your name.
So I don't know. I just think that the Jags are going to come back. They're going to be back next year. I think Trevor Lawrence with Doug Peterson hit his stride. I think Travis Etienne is going to come into his own. Zay Jones. I mean, you got Christian Kirk played really well this year. I think the Jaguars have a good roster moving forward. They had what was his name? Trayvon Walker. He was the first pick overall this past year. He had some flashes.
He didn't look like a first overall pick.
No, Aiden Hutchinson should have been the first overall pick,
or even Thibodeau.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot
played out of his mind.
They took Walker for the potential, and I think they should have taken the guy that's going to be guaranteed good. I think when you take a first overall pick, you don't take on high floor. I mean, you take highest floor you can that's going to come in and be pro ready
and can at least be a starter for years, right?
Yeah, and I mean Aiden Hutchinson proved that. I mean there were some great corners in this draft, but we'll get to that in the offseason. But Patrick Mahomes, he has a high ankle sprain. I'm a little worried about them moving forward, but I mean, Kansas City did it again. They're back in the AFC Championship again. Patrick Mahomes does it again, gets there again. I mean, Kansas City is the team to beat right now, except for one other team. But we'll get to them in a little bit. So I think but in Arrowhead, as of right now, Kansas City is the team to beat at home in the AFC Championship game. So that's what I got to say about that game. That's my breakdown of it, at least. So, Dennis, Joe, what were y'all thinking when you were watching this?
I thought you were completely wrong with your pick the entire game, but all right.
I'll be honest. I was moving this weekend. That's the one game I didn't get to watch.
I only got to watch like the first half of it.
Yeah, I wasn't paying too much attention to this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I knew my pick was outlandish. I knew Jacksonville wasn't going to win that time.
I mean, I had it on in the background.
It sounds so cool.
Yeah, it was 17-20 in the fourth quarter.
I mean, final score was 20-27, so.
Yeah.
But, like, here's the thing. I mean, I wasn't watching, like, intently, but, like, I had it on in the background. I was doing some other stuff on Saturday. The thing is, even when Mahomes was out, I don't even know what Kansas City's backup name was. I wasn't paying that much attention or really looking that much. But, like, he still had, like, a 90 – was it a 97-yard drive or something?
Yeah, his first drive was, like, a 97-yard drive.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if Patrick Mahomes is out, you still have somebody who can take care of business for you. So I was not worried about that at all. I think
he has won playoff games for the Chiefs before. Chad Henne could start in 3 or 4 different teams in this league.
Yeah.
He's better than Matt Ryan is right now. He's better than Davis Mills. He'd probably start in New England. Like, I don't know.
Chad Henne beat that loaded Browns teams with Baker Mayfield that knocked out the Steelers. Like
the one that walloped the Steelers the week before.
Yeah. So like Chad Henne is capable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but obviously, the Chiefs are gonna want Patrick Mahomes.
Here's my biggest thing about this game, right? So you got this like league MVP quarterback who hurt high ankle sprain, right? Why the hell do you let him back in the game?
I mean, you know what Patrick Mahomes brings to the table. I mean, he's played through ankle injuries before too. This isn't his first ankle injury. I mean, he's.
Yeah. You know which one kind of rings a bell to me? I think they were playing Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, and he got a little tweaked up. What happened in that game?
Yeah, he was the best player on the field.
They lost. I mean, granted, I'm going to blame Tyreek Hill for that loss because it hit him in the
Mecole Hardman.
I swear to God.
He threw it sideways, laying out, and hit a guy in the helmet. I think it was Mecole Hardman or something. And his receivers sold in that Super Bowl. But I'm just saying, Patrick Mahomes still played. And he ran for his O-line sold so hard. So, I'm not putting that on Patrick. He was still one of the best players on the football field that night, too, for what he was having to do. But that's just what I'm saying. I think that's why you do everything you can to keep Patrick Mahomes on the field, because he gives you every opportunity to win when he's on the field. He's incredible. I mean, he got, what is this, his fourth AFC Championship game in a row? Or his third? His fifth? I mean, yep. What more do you want from a guy? And
every year he's been a starter, he's made it to the AFC Championship.
That's absurd.
You can't say it's not impressive. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's the best quarterback in football. And
I will say the Chiefs were like a strong playoff team before they got the most talented quarterback of all time. Like physically gifted.
Yeah. Alex Smith.
Before they got this most physically gifted quarterback of all time, they were still a contender.
Alex Smith was not a bad quarterback. No,
that's what I'm saying.
You kind of forget that.
And I used to love Kansas City when Alex Smith played for him.
Hell, now, I loved him when he came to Washington.
I'm not really cheering for Patrick Mahomes. His voice kind of bothers me.
Kermit the Frog.
Hey, we're here to get it going. Dude, he cracks me up, man. But no, I don't know. That's why you leave Patrick Mahomes in the game. Unfortunately, you have to if he can play, you got to keep him in the game because he's played through ankle injuries. I mean, he's a tough guy, honestly. He's played through quite a bit of bumps and bruises throughout his career anyways. The only time he ever really had to go out was the knee injury where his kneecap went down to his calf muscle. So Patrick, but that does worry me for the game moving forward, the AFC Championship game against the Bengals, because I mean, we're going to see what happens there, but the Bengals defense is looking really good right now too.
Yeah, very underrated unit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I want to get on the other side of the ball a little bit more. The Jaguars, they played a really good game. I think, did Lawrence have one interception? Or two
with 3 minutes to go in the fourth, trailing by 7.
That's kind of where they gave it up, I would say, in that game.
And they receivers sold and put the ball on the ground.
Well, there's so many, you could go at the Jaguars for not being nearly a good contender against the Chiefs, but they played a good game. The Chiefs did not play the best of games, and they had a chance to win. So I was a little bit wrong saying the Chiefs were going to blow out the Jaguars, but I was still 100% right in knowing the Chiefs were going to pull it out no matter what.
Yeah, it's hard to go into Arrowhead. I mean, again, Trevor Lawrence's first playoff after the season he had last year too. For them to the Jags even to win a playoff game, and for them to go and compete in Arrowhead says a lot for the future of the Jaguars organization.
Oh yeah, Doug Peterson being down there with Trevor Lawrence and everything.
Oh, Dougie P's a great coach. Dougie P's
coach.
Yeah, and he's been there before. He has
Super Bowl winning coach
experience. Yeah, he has this championship experience in college as a college coach and as an NFL coach. I don't know any organization that wouldn't want him as a head coach, and I think he's a perfect fit in Jacksonville with the talent there's down there right now.
Yeah. He should absolutely be a head coach in the NFL. It was the right move by the Eagles to take Nick Sirianni. And it was the right move by the Jaguars to pick up.
It made sense for them at the time, right?
It made sense for them at the time. I mean,
and even now, Sirianni's a great coach.
Yeah. So,
segue into the next game.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it because
perfect segue.
It wasn't even close. It wasn't a contest, and I was wrong about as wrong as you could be on this one.
Yeah, literally.
Eat your crow.
Giants lost 38-7.
I want a 4-minute apology right now. Run it.
No. I still listen. There's something special. I'm not going to apologize for whatever happens in New York in away playoff games. New York.
I'm sorry, but
there's been some
whimsical,
sauce.
special, like mystic juju is not gonna win you a playoff game. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I don't care if he looks kind of
Ever
like
think
Eli
maybe
Manning.
that was just Eli Manning. Maybe
No.
it's not the Giants. Maybe it's Eli Manning.
I don't know. Eli Manning, I guess, had a switch. I mean, the man would come up after getting his head, like his helmet comes off like halfway off his head. He's looking like backwards, in those like old cartoons where like helmet goes the wrong way. And Eli Manning just stand up, and then he gets back out there and throws a dot like 80 yards for a touchdown. I mean, yeah, I guess I oversold Daniel Jones a little bit. I still think he's going to be the guy in New York moving forward. I don't think you go off him after the season that he had, but he just didn't look great. I mean, the Eagles defense was rested. They were healthy. They came out to play. Jalen Hurts. I mean, not like, again, his stat lines aren't like crazy impressive, but it's the way the Eagles play when Jalen Hurts is healthy. Like they're the ball control, the ability to dominate on the offensive side, like running wise because of his legs. Like,
and that defensive line is so deep.
Yeah.
It seems like 15 starters in the NFL that just cycle through that D line.
And Jordan Davis is healthy now, right? He's back playing. I think he is. Because he's a huge
Someone phone up Chew real quick.
he's a huge contributor to the run stop, which has been the issue for the Eagles. So if he's healthy, then
and that's what they built up this year. They focused a lot this year on stopping the run. Like they found the weak point and figured it out.
Yeah, but without Jordan Davis, they are very susceptible to it. Like he's a big factor on that defensive line. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, I mean, 16 to 24, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, it's not like mind-blowing stats, but it's what he does for that offense. Like Gardner Minshew might go out there and put up better stats. Passing stats. But it's what Jalen Hurts is able to do with his legs. And
because you're not accounting for Gardner Minshew when you're scheming up that defense. You're not accounting for Gardner Minshew as a second running back.
Right.
No. And that's like we had debated about whether Jalen Hurts was fully healthy or not. And I thought it was kind of funny how like literally every time I picked my head up and looked at the game, I saw Jalen Hurts tucking the ball and running.
Yeah.
I know we were concerned, but that is the key to that offense, honestly. Like you can't it's hard to focus in on one thing when they do have a good dynamic offense, I will say. Like everyone focuses on the run, but their air game is pretty good.
And they handed the ball off to how many times in a row did they hand the ball off to Sanders, right?
Yeah.
Gainwell and Sanders.
Oh yeah, Gainwell. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 12 carries, 112 yards and a tutty.
I think Sanders got the ball 6 runs in a row, like 6 plays in a row. Just hand off Sanders 6 times. And he had like 4 first downs in those 6 plays. And then he just like, got himself out of the game real quick, got a breather right back in.
Yeah. I don't know.
I want to talk about Gainwell real quick. That guy is like he's incredible.
Is he the Tony Pollard of the Philadelphia Eagles running back core?
100%. He started off he was a quarterback in high school. I'm pretty sure he went to a little bit of everything in college. He played all around the ball, and then now he's just a solid backup running back.
Yeah. I mean, dude, 12 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. He almost averaged 10 yards a carry. Like, that's insane.
Let's not forget about Boston Scott either, the Giant Slayer.
I mean,
11 touchdowns in in his 8 games against the Giants. Ridiculous.
I mean, he's got their number. It's just, I don't know, man. The Eagles look so good right now. Like when they're healthy, because that was the problem towards the end of the season, the Eagles got hurt and banged up, and now they've had that did they rest the starters last week of the season? I think they played them for a half, or they played them the whole game because they were
because it was up for the
1 seed, right?
Yeah.
So they played them the whole game. So but having that extra bye week, for having the first seed, they're healthy. Jalen Hurts is probably feeling good. They got all their guys back. I mean, they look like they did at the beginning of the season, and that's a scary team you do not want to go against, in my opinion. Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Davis. Line. I mean, what's the Kelsey? Jason Kelsey. Yeah.
They're center.
I mean, yeah, those guys, dude. That is a team full
Lane
of dogs.
Johnson.
Dude, that's just a team full of dogs. And Nick Sirianni has that tough, grinded out mindset.
He got that Philly in him.
He fits Philly so well. Jalen Hurts fits Philly so well. We had a guy, one of our buddies, his name's Nathaniel. He was on a podcast not too long ago. And let me tell you something. He was like, Jalen Hurts isn't going to make it in Philly. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy in Philly. Don't let him ever tell you otherwise. And Now, Jalen Hurts is the guy. He handles the criticism. He's able to handle that crazy Philadelphia crowd, that fan base. Jalen Hurts is here to stay, man. He has arrived. And I was the biggest
Jalen Hurts supporter when he first came out. People were kind of saying like, "Oh, he's just a running back. He's not great throwing the ball." I was his biggest supporter. I said, "No, this guy is the future of this franchise." Like his first 2 games, I think I said that. And look at this.
First, right? Like when he was drafted, I was skeptical.
Yeah,
because LSU, he played for Alabama. He beat us 5, 6, 7 years ago now. I don't even know when it was. And it was like the first year he played. I said, "Why is this running back playing quarterback?"
Yeah.
Dennis called me about it. He was mad. He was upset about it. I hate this guy.
Couldn't stop him.
But I do like him with that Eagles team. And I hate the Eagles, but you can't hate like a good team. Like
I don't hate the Eagles.
I hate the Eagles fan base realistically.
I actually really enjoy the Eagles fan base.
I can't stand them.
It's like the LSU of the NFL for fans.
I'll buy that.
Raunchy, disgusting, like foul human beings.
Inhospitable.
I don't know, man. Jalen Hurts is here to stay. Daniel Jones, I still think he's the guy. So you were looking at me funny when I said that earlier, but I think he's the guy in New York. I think he's the guy you roll with. He showed a lot of potential this year. I mean,
so you noticed that?
Yeah, they have the worst wide receiving core in the NFL, and they have the 32nd wide receiving core and the 31st offensive line, and they still won a wild
And
it's
another first year quarterback head coach combination that they made it to the playoffs and won a playoff game.
So
listen, Daniel Jones.
You don't
is the guy
think quarterback play has anything to do with where the wide receivers are ranked? I'm wondering.
No, not with that wide receiving core. No.
Okay.
What are you smoking? I don't like the way you look at me when you say stuff like that.
Okay.
They signed a guy, Kenny Golladay, who was like 110 touchdowns off of what
who was a dog with a good quarterback.
You want
to get into this right now?
He was
with
trash.
Matt Stafford?
He was trash when he got to New York. He just didn't care. He got his bag and he didn't show up. No, not because of the quarterback, because he didn't care. He got his bag and then he didn't show up at all. How is like Kadarius Toney going to show up? Kenny Golladay. How are all these guys going to show up better than Kenny Golladay? You're going to tell me that he's bad, like with every other receiver in the receiving core, he's fine with, but like he's bad with the one guy, Kenny Golladay? No, they overpaid the wide receiver, and then he showed up and he didn't give a crap because he got his bag and he didn't care anymore. And now he better just disappear because nobody's going to want to pick him up anymore. He doesn't watch the film. Watch the film. The guy doesn't even run his routes. He just jogs them. Like I'm just pissed because this guy's getting paid millions of dollars to not care at all in the NFL. And it's awful that people like you try to defend him. All right.
I'm just letting you know I'm reading my sign right now. Practicing some patience here. Let's get on to the next. Let's move on.
I think that's a good way to end this.
All right, well. Bengals absolutely.
Dennis is all quiet now. Wait. Is he quiet for everyone else?
Yeah, I'm not talking. I haven't been talking.
Anyways, the Bengals absolutely roll the Bills in Buffalo in a snowstorm, 27-10. Congratulations to them. Josh Allen.
I see the best quarterback I've ever seen play in my lifetime.
Can we talk Josh Allen first?
No, we're talking Joe Burrow, the best quarterback I've ever seen play the game of football.
Okay.
I think
go for it. This is your moment. Time to shine, Joe. Dennis.
And Corbin, we've talked about this, right? I think yesterday about this metric of going from worst to first. So by natural law, right? I'm no scientist, but by natural law, when you have the number 1 pick in the draft, you are the worst team in the league. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen.
Unless it's traded to you, yes.
Right. When you earn the number 1 pick. They picked Joe Burrow. They're the worst team in the league. Okay, Joe Burrow gets hurt, early on-ish in his rookie season.
But he looked good. He looked promising.
But he looked very competent, right? He didn't really know where, it was hard to project off of what was it, like 7 games he played in?
Yeah.
And he comes back, they get the 5th pick. So they're after, they won a few games with Joe Burrow. They got the 5th pick the next year, which means they were still a bottom 5 team in the league. You know what Joe Burrow does in his first full season, his second season in the NFL? To the Super Bowl, baby.
with his old buddy
First-
Jamar Chase.
Literally worst to
Second
Aaron
best.
Donald sack away from first. Like,
Yeah.
ridiculous. You can't, the way he plays the game, I'm not saying he's the most physically gifted quarterback. That's not my argument at all. That is probably Patrick Mahomes. I will cede that. Physically gifted, arm talent, football IQ. Have you ever seen a man who sees the field like Joe Burrow, who exudes the confidence and the leadership of Joe Burrow? When Joe Shiesty has the rock in his hands, like, something's in your head, you're like, they're probably going to win this game. like Joe, he's that guy. It's Joe Cool. Like, I don't know what to say.
This feels like the background to like a montage video of his like coming up in life or something.
I'm saying.
I mean, the football IQ, the way he sees the field, the effect, the charisma, his teammates want to play for him on both sides of the ball.
It's the moxie.
Like it's the moxie, it's the shystiness. He's that shiesty.
He has infected. I've heard on a lot of sports shows like after this weekend throughout the day that I'm just like, it's the Joe Burrow effect. It's just he has something, he brings something to an organization. And it's just like like confident. I don't know. Like I feel like confidence isn't the right word because it's not arrogance. I mean, a little bit of arrogance, but like it's just like.
But like in the way you need to have to be a starting quarterback, a successful starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. Like you got to be a little cocky. But he just does it in such a way. It's sexy when he does it. You know what I mean? Like some guys do it and you're like, oh, get out of here. Like stop being an asshole. It's just shivers.
Well, and the reason I like it so much is because, again, Joe, because I know how much you love this when I do this, but it's like
comparisons. Oh my
quarterback comparison. Listen, no. So Kyler Murray has this exceptionally like large, arrogant ego that you can see, right? You see it on the field, you see it in interviews, you see the way his teammates interact with him.
He has no reason to.
Quite literally,
and no reason to.
Body's not that.
And like, well, you can see his teammates don't really rally around him. He's not a guy that like
like his offense doesn't even.
Yeah, like you can tell, like in interviews, man, just like the way like his teammates talk about him, like he has this arrogance about him, but it's not infectious. It's toxic. It's
not a charismatic arrogance.
It's not And then you look at Joe Burrow, and I would say he's not as arrogant, but he's arrogant. He's confident.
It's a different kind of arrogance.
Joe Burrow it's infectious.
He has underdog character. He has underdog confidence. Right?
Yeah.
Like he goes into the game not expecting to be automatically crowned the winner. He expects to go into the game and work to the win every game. Exactly, because he knows he's going to get the work done that needs to get done to win the damn game.
Yeah.
Because he's the best quarterback we've ever seen play football.
Yeah. I don't agree with that. But
not most physically talented. Again, I'm not the best quarterback we've ever seen play football.
I'm just saying, like, when you have a guy like that you can get into an organization and like you can see like his team, like you said, Dennis, not only does the offense want to play for him, the defense wants to play for him. This like shooter, but like you just see all this like confidence exude throughout his team. And no one's like, you could tell like people love to be with Joe Burrow. And it's like the opposite of what Kyle. And there's a fine line because
who wouldn't love to be with Joe Burrow?
No. I'm saying there's a fine line because you see with Kyler Murray, his arrogance and how cancerous, toxic it is, and how much his teammates don't like it. And then you have Joe Burrow, who also has. I mean, he's an arrogant guy, and we love it though. Like for some reason, it just comes across like he just has this. I don't even know how to explain it.
I think the difference, if you want to dive into this, if you want to dive into this comparison between Murray and Burrow, like. Okay, Burrow will do everything it takes to make sure the team is like where it needs to be. Murray will not. I don't think would do the same. Like, I mean, you've seen this. Like, it was written in his contract that he like has to watch this much film because he's not watching. That just says that he's not watching film, and that's like a whole. It's your job is to learn like other defense. And like
Joe Burrow falls asleep watching film on his parents' couch.
Okay, but it's not going to be an advertised thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like,
yeah. You could watch and go out there and see like Joe Burrow is willing to die on that field. And like you see it in the way he plays. Every play. Like he's like, I'm here to win the football game at whatever cost that takes. So like I don't know, great for him. But I mean, and Joe Mixon, like 20 carries, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. If Joe Mixon is going, Joe Burrow's hot, Jamar Chase is gonna be, Jamar Chase is gonna be making plays.
Don't forget about my boy
T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. It's the best 3 wide receiver, like
Hey,
from 1 to 3
Hurts
wide receiving core.
has bloomed into a great tight end too.
Yeah, I mean that's a scary dude. I mean, I went to the Titans game against the Bengals, and I seen Hurst on the sideline. And I was like, Dad would not want to mess with him. If
Looks
I
like a
seen
wild
him,
man.
he's a mountain man. That's what it looks. I mean, he's got
That's what I'm saying.
but so like the Bengals are hot. I didn't like we said we didn't know because the offensive line doesn't look great. I mean,
And it's half not actual starters right now. Like,
Yeah.
and they still find a way to absolutely demolish the Buffalo Bills. And I just got to say,
who were the Super Bowl pick by pretty much
hey,
freaking everyone to start the season.
the Buffalo Bills are the regular season Super Bowl champs, man, every year.
Regular season.
Yeah.
It's just I love Josh Allen. You know I love Josh Allen. Like he's an incredible talent when he's hot. But again,
Called him
when he's
average
not
last
on-
week.
Yeah, when he's
Yeah.
hot, he's great. No, I
Weird.
said he's average because his lows are so low. And what did I say? His lows, he was bad. 25, 42, 285 yards, 265 yards, 1 touchdown. Like in the snow, that's not
And
terrible.
an interception.
With a pick.
And an interception with a pick. No touchdown. Did I say touchdown?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant interception. 1 interception. He had one rushing touchdown.
One
But at what point do we start to be like, okay, like we said, we're not making excuses for Justin Herbert anymore. Now, when do we stop making excuses for Josh Allen? Like
It's
the
gonna be a little
NFL,
while.
the NFL changes the overtime rules for the Buffalo Bills. The NFL sets a neutral site for the AFC playoff championship game. The NFL like basically got on their
We didn't even
knees for
dive into
Buffalo.
that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well, hey, I hope they're ready to pay out those refunds, buddy, or get those refunds ready. But I'm just saying, like, after everything the NFL has done for Buffalo, for them, because you can see, like, they're trying to push for Buffalo to be that team to get over that hurdle. I mean, they can't do it, man. What has happened? Every year they get stopped in the playoffs. Like, I need to see them get over that hump. And I need Josh Allen to be better in the playoffs before I call him, like, and put him in the tier with Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. I need to see him get over that hump. And it just makes me nervous moving forward. And like Stephon Diggs, I know Stephon Diggs is an emotional player, but like, do you not think Josh Allen's looking your way every play? Like Diggs, like, come on now. You know he's looking for you. He was number 1 receiver. But you're probably double covered. There's probably a safety over top help that you don't see. Like, there's no reason to go out there and show up in front of Josh Allen, go over there stomping back and forth on the sideline in front of him. Like,
telling him, bring the ball up. Like,
yeah, like, dude, it's a snowstorm. And yeah, Joe Burrow, maybe he wasn't having as much fun, but I saw some not great throws from Joe Burrow.
You mean Snow Shiesty? Snow Burrow?
But
Honestly,
I don't
that
know.
that pregame like promo video where he threw the ball and does a little spin, that was
He's just listen. I mean, I don't know. I need to see more from Josh Allen next season, and I feel bad because like we see him do incredible things. We makes these insane highlight plays, but his lows he's got to pick his floor up. He cannot be this bad. And Brian Dable had fixed that, or put a Band-Aid on it. Whatever Brian Dable did,
It was
when
a
he
Band-Aid.
there,
It was a temporary fix.
It was a temporary Band-Aid. Whatever he did for Josh Allen, because he cannot play like this anymore. Like that, and granted, yes, the Bills were beat up in the secondary, and like they have not a great offensive line. They don't have a great running game. Obviously, Josh Allen's their leading rusher with 26 yards. Like he doesn't have a lot of help. But when you're touted as what he is, because let's look at Patrick Mahomes real quick. Patrick Mahomes lost his number 1 receiver and got better, like, and probably the best receiver in the NFL, if not like top three.
Top three.
Like, and he
he
lost him.
does
And
have
he
the
somehow,
best tight end in the NFL.
But
yeah,
who is
he has no running game.
Realistically, a top 3 receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. But I mean, that's all I gotta say. I just need to see Josh Allen do more. So do you guys I know I talked a lot there. I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to say, or you want to move to the 49ers Cowboys game? Because
we got a lot to talk about in this next game. I'm kind of ready to get into
Want to talk about that
we-
neutral site thing first?
the what?
The neutral site thing?
Yeah, I mean, whatever
Let's
you want to
say-
say about it. I said what I had to say about it. I just said like they were sucking the Buffalo Bills to put it out there. So
I'm just gonna say I think that played a little bit into like motivation for the Bengals, because they're like a gritty team, right?
yeah,
As much like finesse players as they have with like, Chase and T. Higgins and Boyd, like being like these great wide receivers, right?
Mhm.
Like they're still a gritty team, and I think the NFL getting all the owners to like sign off on when it's Bills Chiefs to have it at a neutral site since the Bills didn't get to play that game that they could have potentially won, right? Like, that's a slight to Cincinnati.
It kind of
The
goes back
NFL
to the whole like
Yeah, the NFL was saying no, it's gonna be Bills Chiefs.
Joe?
it goes back to that like the underdog thing I was talking about. Like they played kind of with the underdog mentality because the NFL kind of wrote them out a little bit. I think you could say that. I mean, the NFL does also have to defend the decisions that some higher ups made. Is like they got to figure out a plan just in case. The selling tickets thing was a little weird, I thought, because soon they're focusing tickets towards the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, what Joe Shicey say? Get them refunds ready, buddy. Get them refunds ready. But so we'll move on to the Dallas San Francisco game.
Our favorite game of the week.
Our favorite game of the week. It was probably the most boring game of the weekend.
Oh my
by
gosh.
far.
I almost fell asleep like 6 times.
But
I was telling you earlier, the most 2 boring playoff games I can remember, like in a long time, have been the last 2 Cowboys games. Because they just dog walked Tampa Bay and like it just was not a good game. And then there was just this 12-19 absolute snooze fest against the best roster in the NFL.
Mhm.
Ugh.
So, listen, San Francisco, that's a scary roster. It's a scary team. Brock Purdy didn't play bad. That was the best defense Brock Purdy has probably played. And like Micah Parsons was doing his best to win that game. I mean, I've seen him take one arm and throw a right tackle.
Throw a tackle
with one arm.
Like a rag doll.
The guy's one of the scariest people in the NFL, man. He runs like a 4.40 at 250 pounds. Like he's just a terrifying human being. So like we saw a little bit of limitation from Brock Purdy, I think. And I think Philadelphia is going to expose that a little bit too. I still think Brock Purdy is probably the guy in San Francisco, but we've seen
Without
a little bit like, yeah, but we just seen a little bit more of like, okay, he is a rookie still. Like he came back to earth a little bit in that playoff game.
Especially at
his eyes a little bit.
I'll make that point. Especially at his salary, he's that guy.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, what is he making? $900K for the whole year? But one thing I felt this way before, and I feel even stronger about it right now. I do not trust Dak Prescott one bit when the money is on the table. Like when the game is on the line.
2 picks. Should have thrown 4.
Dude, he should have thrown a pick 6 right on their last game-winning drive. Like,
you mean the one that got Zeke pancaked after he?
I want to talk about that.
The one before that
one.
The one before that one. But like, I don't know. Dak Prescott. I mean, 23 of 37, 200. So 23 of 37 for only 206 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Should have been 4 picks. Tony Pollard did get hurt. CeeDee Lamb did his best. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was the only guy that looked like he cared. Yeah, I mean, he looked like he was the only one that cared, even with his drops. I mean, 10 receptions, 117 yards. But like, the Cowboys have got to be the team that just for their fan base. I love watching Dallas lose. I hate Dallas. I mean, I cannot stand Dallas, and I love watching them lose. But can you imagine being a Dallas fan? You go out, you smoke Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in the playoffs, and then Dak Prescott goes out and does what he does because I knew it was coming. But is there a conversation that needs to be had this offseason about are the Cowboys going to take calls for Dak Prescott? I think
does Zeke and Dak Prescott leave?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about it. I think Brock Purdy, he's gonna have to either step up, take it to another level, or we're just gonna have like the rest of the roster's gonna have to step up. But he didn't play bad, but we saw his limitations in this game. And then,
I will say,
Dak disappoints like usual.
I said it at work today. Cooper Rush plays, they win that game.
I agree. Skip Bayless tweeted it too.
Oh really? I didn't see that one.
I don't know about all that.
Joe, what do you think? What do you think about this game?
I wish Ben DiNucci was still on that roster. That's all I'll say.
Me too. Ben DiNucci. Oh,
Ben
man.
DiNucci.
7 touchdowns, 1 million yards, a couple rushing touchdowns in there too. Why not? But the 49ers, like, I will say, like, they played a really good game. And we got to talk about Kittle's catch off the helmet.
Oh, man.
Insane.
That changed the game. Yeah.
It really did. That was kind of a game changer. Everyone said,
Kittle is now confirmed funniest dude in the NFL.
Best character.
I want to be friends with George Kittle now.
I do too. Guy looks
like
a
little
blast
post game with Aaron Andrews. He's
well,
like,
he's like, you gonna go have fun? He's like, yeah. Like, run off.
Yeah.
He's
but I gotta say,
I cam like making funny faces.
Yeah.
Fair catches the spike.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the Cowboys, to the Cowboys fan base, why did you think you had a chance? Why did you think you were guaranteed to win the Super Bowl this year? Because you won an away playoff game for the first time since 1993. You are not the 49ers. You are not the team to beat. You don't have George Kittle. You don't have Brock Purdy. You don't have Deebo Samuel.
Christian McCaffreys.
2 Christian McCaffreys. Brandon Ayuk. You do not have that offense. You don't even have that defense. Michael Parsons is your defense, and maybe Diggs, but he always ball hawks anyway. Not going to make a tackle for you, that's for sure. Why did you think you could win a Super Bowl this year? You're not them. You never will be them. Jerry Jones made a deal back in the 90s. Win 3 Super Bowls. That's all I want. Hasn't won another one since. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hasn't even made it to another NFC championship since then.
Yeah.
Let me point that out. But you asked why they thought it was going to happen, right? Because it's their year, Joe.
Every year.
Next year's going to be their year too. You guys ready for it? Joe, you mentioned something earlier, and we have to talk about it because I think we saw the worst play in NFL history.
Yes.
Oh, that was me.
Sunday night.
I brought that up.
Then Dennis. But, dude, why do you have
It's the copy out of that Monday night Indianapolis, fake punt.
It was almost worse, dude, because this is to win the game. And let's just real quick. Zeke is snapping the ball. You have 3 offensive linemen on each side with a receiver, and you have Dak back there. I don't even know who was in the backfield with him. And what do? You throw a slant route that gets destroyed. Why do you throw us? Because there's nobody around. I just don't understand. Who thought this play was a good idea? And Zeke's over there. Why is Zeke actually acting like a center? He does the whole look back, look up, look back, look up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll snap it." And then he what is the worst
he's just
play I've ever seen?
Oh.
Yeah, he gets destroyed.
I think it's
yeah.
Was it Fred Warner that ran him over?
I think so.
No idea.
I have no idea.
It was so unnecessary because
all I know is
Zeke was just
I'm watching Zeke get steamrolled right at the snap. And then I'm too busy laughing at that. And then all of a sudden I see number 9, I don't remember his name, get whiplash from just getting cracked in the middle of the field. I was like, what happened?
I don't know what they were trying to do. Were they trying to do an annexation of Puerto Rico or something?
They had to be what they were doing.
I want an explanation. I really do.
And it didn't even look like the offensive lineman ran out there. It looked like everybody just stood around when they threw the slant route. I was like,
we need to send a message to Kellen Moore and figure out what the intention of that play was.
Zeke just acting like a real center was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Why did he he's pointing, he's just, all right, here we go. Snaps it, and then he's just gets destroyed. I mean, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Hilarious.
I just want to see the X's and O's on that play.
Yeah. So, all right. Is that all we got?
I think that's good.
Okay. We will wrap it up. We're going to do our predictions on Thursday night, 30-minute Thursday. Check in with us next time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell. Thanks for stopping by with us this time. Check us out next episode. See y'all later.